My patient had hardly said a word in 2 years. Then he called and said, "She's barely alive and they think I did it." I froze. "Miles, who is barely alive?" "Ms. Bennett." He paused. Can you come to the school? Room 204. I need you." My blood went cold at the mention of her name. Knowing everything Miles had told us through written notes about the teaching assistant who'd destroyed his life when he was 15, whose word everyone believed over his, who drove him to attempt taking his life twice. "Miles, what did you—" I started, but the line went dead. I spent the entire 40-minute drive wondering what the hell could have shattered 2 years of carefully rebuilt progress. When I arrived at 1:45 p.m. with classes in session, the entire C-wing was blocked off with yellow tape while crime scene technicians swarmed the area. I found Miles in the administrative conference room sitting across from 2 detectives, his hands perfectly still on the table, not even the nervous fidgeting I'd seen in every group session. Detective Harper looked stern as he acknowledged my arrival. "Miles refused to talk unless you were present, and given his past accusations against Ms. Bennett, we need to be thorough here." He paused. "He hasn't said a single word to us since we brought him in." I sat down beside Miles. In 2 years of running an abuse survivors group, I'd never heard him speak out loud, just written notes about what Ms. Bennett did to him. I put my hand on his shoulder. Something in his posture shifted. He sat up straighter. The younger detective added grimly, "Ms. Bennett is in critical condition. Skull fracture, broken spine, internal bleeding." He paused. "If she survives, she'll likely be paralyzed." Miles just shrugged. Harper leaned forward angrily. "Miles, we've seen your file. All those complaints about Bennett from 3 years ago. He let that hang in the air for a moment. Now she's barely alive and you just happen to be there? Tell us what really happened." Miles looked at me first. I nodded. Then he turned to the detectives and words just started pouring out of him, clear and steady in a way I'd never heard. "I was in the right place at the wrong time," he began matter-of-factly. "Walking to the library through C-Wing because it's always empty during 5th period, and she was coming down as I was going up." "Then what?" Harper pressed, his suspicion obvious. "When she saw me, she immediately started backing up the stairs in those ridiculous heels she always wore. The same kind she had on when she'd lock her classroom door during our tutoring sessions and tell me I was special." His jaw tightened. "The same heels she wore when she convinced everyone that a troubled 15-year-old was making things up about their beloved teaching assistant." The detectives exchanged meaningful glances before Harper asked, "That's quite a coincidence, Miles. She just happens to fall right when you show up?" Miles didn't hesitate. "Her heel caught because she was backing up too quickly, and when she grabbed for the railing, she missed and went backward hard. Her head hit 3 different steps on the way down. The sound was wet, like cracking eggs." The younger detective shifted uncomfortably. "What did you do then?" Miles had this little smirk. "She was conscious, but making gurgling sounds while blood came from her ears." He paused, like he was savoring the memory, and I remembered the same whining noise she'd make when I told her I hated being touched, how she'd cry that I didn't love her anymore, that I was ungrateful. Harper looked like he was about to throw up when he asked, "Did you call for help?" Miles found my eyes across the table before answering. "What's the point?" For once, she was the one begging and no one was listening. The room went silent before the younger detective cleared his throat and pulled up Miles's old file. "Your complaints were thoroughly investigated." Miles cut him off. "And dismissed because she cried in the principal's office and said I had a crush on her." He finished bitterly. "She got promoted while my parents spent thousands on therapy after I tried to kill myself twice because nobody would believe me." I sat there, hand on his shoulder, completely stunned. 2 months ago, he couldn't even speak. Now he was cutting off detectives. Finally, the detective pulled out an iPad, his voice tight with anger. "We've got security footage of everything. Given your history with her, it better match exactly what you just said." "Check it," Miles said calmly, leaning back in his chair like he'd been waiting for this moment for 3 years. Harper hit play, clearly expecting to catch Miles lying, but as we watched, everything happened exactly as described. Ms. Bennett saw him, backed up in fear, and fell without Miles ever touching her. The footage showed him standing there watching her writhe in agony. Then he did something that made everyone gasp. He carefully stepped over her body and walked away. "You left her there to die," Harper said hollowly, while the younger detective's mouth fell open. Miles smiled and stood up, grabbing his backpack. "If I'm no longer needed here, I'm going back to class. I have a calculus test 6th period." Harper stared at him in disbelief. "You just watched her die." Miles turned back and actually laughed. "Last time I tried to tell people about something involving her, no one helped. So why would they this time?" Part of me was horrified, but most of me was proud.